So we have the silver and bronze medalists from 2 years ago in Jerusalem in this race. They were 17 years of age, coming back now. Uta on the inside and Mashienkova in lane 5. Just seen there, Duna Vinals of Andorra. Lives in Andorra itself. She's at US University, Logna. And then Cristina Neves on the inside. 2 times Portuguese under-20 champion, Bogdanovic. Serbian, Cervenkova, 18 years of age. And another very good Czech hurdler. Oh, we've been seeing lots of the men do very well this morning. This is the reigning Czech under-20 champion. And on the inside, the bronze medalist from 2 years ago. And she was only 15 years of age then, now just 17, amazingly enough. Alexandra Uta. Uta, well, a fantastic talent. Was actually representing her country at the European Team Championship Division 2 in Maribor recently. So from the inside, it's Uta of Romania, Cervenkova of Czechia, Bogdanovic, Serbia, Mashienkova, Ukraine, Neves, Portugal, Logna of Sweden, and Vinales of Andorra on the outside. 3 to go through as of right, and then from all the 7 qualifying rounds, 3 non-automatic qualifiers.
Set.
Well, it's Neves of Portugal who's had a good start in this race. We're also looking at Uta on the inside. Uta going through the first 100 very quickly, up on the shoulder of Cervenkova on the outside, Ukrainian. Mashienkova running well as well at the moment. And Mashienkova, after a rather sluggish first 100 metres, has really tore down that back straight and is hurdling extremely well. Hasn't posted any particularly notable times this year, but comes into this as the silver medalist when she was just 17 years of age 2 years ago in Jerusalem. And some very tidy hurdle indeed. As I say that, she stutters badly before the 9th hurdle. And it is Bogdanovic as well, and Uta on the inside, just edging past Mashienkova. It's going to be Romania 1, Ukraine 2. I think it might have been Bogdanovic who gets the 3rd place there. So Uta really showing her class, and as I say, just remember, she's just 17 years of age still. Nice smile from the Ukrainians. Well, I think many people across Europe applaud any Ukrainian success. We all know what's been happening in their country since 2022. But the plaudits go to Uta.
Well, Cervenkova panting there, having come home for the 3rd automatic spot. But full credit to Mashienkova, silver medalist 2 years ago in Jerusalem. She absolutely stormed the second 100 metres. She flew down that back straight, and it was inevitable the lactic would at some stage take hold. Season's best of just outside 59 seconds, and that was much more like it, 57.9. Of course, she got tired towards the end. Uta came through and showed her class that got her on the podium at the age of 15 2 years ago as well. But Mashienkova was very brave and very bold. So Cervenkova coming through for 3rd. An excellent trio automatically through. PBs in 4th and 5th, they'll have to wait and see.
There's Bogdanovic, originally given 3rd, but the revised results edged down to 4th. So it's only 3 to go through as of right. Bogdanovic will have to wait, but has a very good chance of progressing.
Heat 2 then, women's 4 hurdles. We've seen an excellent performance from the bronze medalist from 2 years ago in the first. Very interested to see Stephanie Okoro going here with Heikkinen just outside her. Right on the outside, 3rd in the Balkan Champs, Ikim Atulnublack of Turkey. And then Greta Vuolo, inside a minute at her best. Heikkinen, national indoor champion over the 60 hurdles, so she's got great raw speed. And she'll need to go out hard because Okoro is the fastest in the field alongside her. European under-18 bronze in Jerusalem back in 22, second in the national under-20 champs. 57.98 this season. Hannah Hirsbrunner of Switzerland, yet to break a minute. And so too Chisholm Grace Ahika, 16-year-old representing Cyprus. And on the inside, Alain Aguralde set her PB on the 27th of July. So just a reminder, it's the top three, but only 3 non-automatic qualifiers, and there are 7 heats in total. Been a good year for these women. 15 have run inside 59 seconds. By far and away the 2 quickest in this heat. Stephanie Okoro in your picture now in lane 5 for Great Britain, and Heikkinen of Finland just outside her in 6. Aguralde, full lineup. Aguralde, Spain in 2. Ihika of Cyprus in 3. Hirsbrunner, Switzerland 4. Okoro, Great Britain 5. Heikkinen, Finland 6. Vuolo, Italy 7. And Altun Bulak of Turkey in lane 8, the Balkan Championship bronze medalist. All eyes on 5 and 6. So 57.64 for Uta in the first of the heats. And my goodness me, Heikkinen has gone out very, very quickly indeed. She's now extreme left of picture, bearing in mind she started in lane 6 and has already taken up the stagger. Okoro is chasing, but perhaps trying to run a little bit more conservatively over the first 2. Slight stutter there from Okoro into that barrier. Now round the second bend. At what stage is Heikkinen going to begin to tire? Altun Bulak going well on the very outside for Turkey at the moment. But it's Heikkinen from Okoro coming through on the inside. Aguralde of Spain in the mix for the 3rd spot, and she's some way clear at the moment. Heikkinen and now Okoro beginning to put her under a little bit of pressure. Very tight between Spain and Turkey for the 3rd spot. Okoro from Heikkinen, and it was Aguralde of Spain for the 3rd spot. 58.40, so not as quick as the first of the heats, but a nicely timed run from Okoro because Heikkinen went out incredibly quickly, but the Briton didn't panic. And it was indeed Aguralde a couple of tenths ahead of Altun Bulak for 3rd.
Yes, an excellent run there from Stephanie Okoro. As you were saying, Rob, didn't panic at all after that very fast start from the Finn. And some good technical hurdling as well. Hails from the London area, and she's at Brunel University, well-known institute for providing top-quality sportsmen. It's nicely done. Coming off the last hurdle and then overhauling Heikkinen. Heikkinen knows, though, that she was very comfortably in a qualifying position. The real battle was for 3rd and 4th place. Aguralde getting home and front to Altun Bulak to assure herself of a qualifying position.
Good running from the 2 fastest in the field on paper, and Aguralde taking her chance to join them, guaranteed into the semi-finals. Altun Bulak will have an anxious wait. Only 3 non-automatic qualifiers, and there are 5 heats still to come.
Now, get underway with the 3rd heat in the women's 400 metres hurdles. And the big attraction in this heat is the Hungarian in lane 5, Petra Lalic. 2nd fastest woman in Europe this year. One of only 2, along with Meta Tumba, to have gone under 57 seconds. Eva Bararic, the Croatian on the outside. This is Julio Wirth of Switzerland. Wirth, 58.87 performer. Exactly the same personal best as this woman from Greece, Rafaela Giannodoulou. There's Lalic. Now Lalic, very, very strong performer indeed. Be interesting to see how she goes. Hasn't really got a great deal of international pedigree, but she's the 2-time Hungarian champion. Rebecca Fiela on her inside from Greece. Alba Vinyals, sister of Dina Vinyals, who went in the first heat from Andorra. And Mari Skarsgård of Norway on the inside. Yet to break a minute for the 400 metres hurdles, the Norwegian on the inside. But, as we know, Norway have some talent on the men's side in the 400 metres hurdles. So from the inside, Skralstad of Norway, Vinyals, Andorra, Fiela, Germany, Lalic of Hungary, Giannadoulou, Greece, Wirth of Switzerland, and Babaric of Croatia. Well, Lalic away very quickly and into her running. She's already getting up on the shoulder of Giannadoulou on her outside. Lalic is absolutely tearing through this first 150 metres, hurdling very crisply over the first 4 hurdles. Well, she's almost got the lead just 200 metres into this race. She's now overtaken everybody in this race. She's got a massive advantage and still hurdling extremely well. Also doing well on the outside, Wirth of Switzerland. Having a good run at the moment. The Swiss runner out in lane 7, but there's no doubt at all about it. Lalic, but she's starting, her shoulders are starting to rock from side to side, stuttering slightly into the 9th hurdle. Still a good advantage from the Hungarian. Now she seems to have recovered her poise. She's waving around her lane just very slightly, and the others are gaining on her, but it is going to be Lalic. Giannadoulou and Wirth, 2nd and 3rd unofficially. So 59.60. Lalic absolutely blasted her way around the first half of that race, the first 5 hurdles, and then started to tire around the bend. She still managed to hold on for a good victory in this heat of the women's 400 metres hurdles.
Well, you're right. She absolutely tore down the back straight. It was very much a case of blast it for the first 250 and hang on down the last 100 metres. I actually thought that the last barrier was very significant because she was tired, and I thought if she clips this, she's going to lose all her momentum. But her form, her form just held good enough, and that was enough for her to take it over the last 40 or so metres. Giannadoulou came through really well for 2nd place and dragged Wirth along with her. The 3 non-automatic spots, by the way, they all know the rest coming along, that they have to run inside a minute to stand any chance. But that was good running from Lalic. It was brave, and she certainly felt it in the closing stages.
And Lalic confirmed as winning in 59.58. Followed home by Giannadoulou, 60.12, just edging out Julia Wirth, 61.9, but all 3 go through to the semi-finals.
Well, no sooner have we been enjoying the early stages of the discus qualifying, we're back on the track again. Heat 4 of 7 for the women's 4 hurdles. Minimum time required for those not finishing in the top 3 is 59.91. So anybody who's coming back for the semis is going to have to run inside a minute. Terit Amundsen on the outside, twice the national champion in the triple jump. There's Lopez, national championship silver. She's run 58.2 this season, so should go well. Julia Sverdin just inside her, national indoor champion on the 4 flat, so she's got some good gas. Zoe Van Gils, 3rd in the national championships, just inside a minute. And there's arguably the favourite, Arabella Wilson, national champion. Great form with 57.49 on the 27th of July for the national title. Katanali of Turkey will chase down. Could she run inside a minute for the first time? And then on the inside, well, in lane 2, Masa Podgornik of Slovenia. If she could replicate her new PB of 59.5, she could well be in the shake-up. Wilson is the fastest in the field as the cameras focus on Lopez, 2nd from the outside. And watch for Podgornik as the stagger unfolds. The top three guaranteed a place in the semis. The non-automatic times at the moment, it has to be quicker than 59.91. There's Wilson, on paper the favourite for this one, going in lane 4 in heat 4 of the women's 4 hurdles. Lovely early evening, summer sunshine here in Finland's third largest city. Van Gils has gone out hard, but that's because she knew she needed to, with Wilson, the quickest in the field on paper, chasing her down. Lopez has made up the stagger on Tavit Amundsen on the extreme left of picture, but Van Gils and Wilson are closing ominously, and it's Wilson leading at the moment. Oh, a little bit of a stutter into that one from Van Gils. She's lost a little bit of momentum. And she has Tavit Amundsen still hanging on in 4th place, right on the outside. Tell you what, that's a good run from Lopez, the Frenchwoman. She's putting Wilson under a little bit of pressure here. Van Gils still in 3rd. Podgornik trying to make a move on the inside for the 3rd automatic spot. Oh, what a run by Lopez. So, Wilson comes back to take it just on the line from Lopez. Good running there. So she was made to work quite hard for that. I thought Lopez was going to take it with about 20 metres to go, but Wilson was absolutely determined just to come through. And Podgornik was trying to come through on the inside, but Van Gils did hang on for the 3rd spot. She was tiring. Well, Wilson did run that 57.49 for the national title. She worked very, very hard for that win, and her reward will be a decent lane in the semis. But the Frenchwoman probably put her under more pressure than she was anticipating.
Very much so. It's a good run there from Lopez in that lane and really exceeded her expectations. She'd have known that Wilson was there with that terrific time of 47.49. Lopez herself, low 58. Good run from Lopez, had the luxury of looking across. Good heat, that one, with 3 women inside 1 minute. So the 5th heat, 2 more to come after this of the women's 400 metres hurdles. And the 2 women to look out for, we're just giving you a marker if you like. Capasso of Italy in lane 2, and Gadaszka of Poland. 1 lane to her outside. In particular, Gadaszka, the pole. This year, well, 58.66, but last year she blasted around to 56.87. Buchner and Rubasic on the outside lanes. You stop at Gadaszka, who took the World Under-20 silver medal in Lima last year. That was where she set that personal best of 56.87, so she can rise to the occasion. Capasso recently set her personal best of 59.94, and on the inside we've got Naroa of Spain. Spaniard? I should say the Netherlands. My notes are slightly skew with. But reading down at my notes, the one bit that I've actually got right is the fact that she's actually in the training group of Femke Bol, so that can't be bad.
On your mark.
Exalted company indeed.
So, from the inside, Naroa, the Netherlands, Capasso, Italy, Gadaszka, Poland, Babat, Turkey, Kozlova of Latvia, Rubčić of Croatia, and Buchner of Germany. 7 women in this 5th heat, and only 3 will go through as automatic qualifiers. It's a fairly even start. As we said, Kozlova of Latvia doing well at this stage, running very well. Gadashka stuttering in front of that third hurdle, tearing away at the moment on the outside. It's Buchner of Germany as well. She's doing well at this stage, going through a very quick first 200 meters. Now Gadashka in all sorts of problems, though. The Pole, who we're looking at and expected to come through, the world under-20 silver medalist. On the inside, it's Femke Bol's training partner, Abigail Narua, who's really doing extremely well. Came through very strongly on that second bed, all-important second bed, and now starting to get away. Gail Gadashka, after being in all sorts of problems over the first half of the race, has recovered. I don't think she would have expected the race to unfold in this way, but it is Narua and Gadashka, followed home by the early leader, Greta Liv Buchner of Germany. That's the 1, 2, 3. Good run from Narua. Let's wait and see what that time is. 59.49 for Narua, and that was a very competent control. It had a Femke Bol aspect to it, didn't it, Rob?
I thought she ran really well, as did Buchner on the outside, because although you could be forgiven for thinking that she blasted it and went too hard, in a way she had no option, knowing that there were quicker athletes, 2 quicker athletes at least on her inside. It was really brave, so I'm delighted that she's held on. Gadashka changed gear when she came off the bend for the home straight. You could sense that her belief and her strength were rising to the fore. She left it late and can't afford to do that in the semis, but Narua paced that beautifully. She was looking around with about 70 to go. She was running well within herself, which saves her energy for the semis and the final, but Gadashka came through just when she needed it for second, and I'm delighted Buchner's made it.
Yes, Narua getting inside 60 seconds, 59.49, and Gadashka recovering after some very, very tricky, challenging clearances of the hurdle over the first half of the race.
Right then, penultimate heat of the women's 4 hurdles. All eyes on Mette Tumba in lane 3, the world junior champion. Amelia Hermansson on the outside, yet to break a minute. Today would be the day, wouldn't it? Maria Sophia Schmitz, 17 years of age, twice a national championship silver medalist. She's run inside 59, as has the woman inside her, Martina Zunino, the Spaniard, European under-18 medley bronze back in Jerusalem. Then Tunina Konechka of Slovakia, another sub-1 minute performer. Heidi Andre, the Estonian. Well, she's going to have to get out hard, because the outstanding performer of this event is right on her inside, Mette Tumba, national under-20 champion. Gold in the 4x4 in Jerusalem, and lightning quick. What a title in Lima, 55.59. And it's Reza van der Kruijt, just inside a minute, her lifetime best. So just to mark your card again, it's 59.91 for anybody in this field who wants to qualify but doesn't finish in the top 3. Van der Kruijt, Netherlands in 2. Tumba, the favourite of France, the quickest in the field in 3. Andre, Estonia 4. Konechka, Slovakia 5. Zunino, Spain in 6. Schmidt of Germany 7. Hermansson of Sweden on the outside. Tumba, second from the inside, but that puts her in lane 3 because 1 is unused in this race. She is the world under-20 champion. Many people believe she is the outstanding favourite for gold. First, she must secure safe passage through to the semis. Heat 6, women's 400 hurdles. Well, Tumba has the benefit of being able to see almost everybody. Zunino and Schmidt, second and third from the outside, are going to have to really go for this. Tumba is just floating down the back straight. A lovely flowing runner, not too dissimilar to Joachim Cruz, a lovely long stride. Also running well is Konechka. So, Tumba is away and clear here. Now Zanino begins to respond. She's in second place for Spain. And it's Konechka in third. We have a faller there in lane 2. That's Van der Kloot, who's gone down heavily. Well, Tumba just stuttered a little bit into that one. Zanino coming away for second place, with Konechka in third. 59.36. Little bit of a stutter into the last barrier, but that was all easy. And it was Van der Kloot. There was a massive clatter with a barrier. Luckily, she's up and she's okay. But Tumba, too good. I love the way she floats down that back straight. It's a little bit like Rada in the men's 4 hurdles. She makes something very difficult and very technically advanced look dead easy.
Just wondering about Tumba's fitness, though, overall, because she looked as though she was tying up, and I was a little bit surprised about that, notwithstanding the fact that she has a massive lead here. But at this point, oh dear, as we see on the inside, Van der Kloot hitting the deck. What a pity. But, Tumba stretching away and certainly easing off. But at the same time, she's almost slouched forward as she's running down the home straight. Time, of course, well, not terribly significant in these heats. Still Uta leading the way with 57.64. That very good run in the first heat.
Tumba miles clear, but you suspect will need to improve come the semis and the final. Zanino and Konechka are also safely through to the semis.
400 metres hurdles. Very good Estonian Viola Hambridge goes in lane 4. Hambridge has improved this year to 57.55. Celebrated her 19th birthday just a couple of weeks ago. On the outside is Copiello of Italy, Nathaniel Israel, Frank of Switzerland, Venuskova of Slovakia. Here's Hambridge. Hambridge, well, we've seen her at European Athletics competitions. Saw her at the under-18s 3 years ago in Jerusalem. Pokvievasic of Slovenia, youngest in this race. And Nina Radova. Radova was at the press conference yesterday supporting her brother, who was one of the star performers, but she's a European under-18 champion herself. And Tina Polic of Croatia on the inside. Radova, 57.61 this year, so only a few hundredths shy of the best of this woman in camera shot, Viola Hambridge. Get through, they'll need to run faster than 59.91. Diana Vinyals of Andorra in a qualifying position at the moment. So 8 women in this last heat. Radova of Czechia, like her brother, starting very quickly indeed, and a superb technician. Also running well, Hambridge, Estonian, in lane 4, 2 lanes to the outside of Radova. She's running well as well, so it's very much Radova and Hambridge, the 2 women dominating this race at the moment. On the outside, well, it's Frank of Switzerland also having a cracking run. Woman in red wearing those long white socks. She's come through very strongly down the back straight. And she's at the moment, despite that rather scrappy clearance which lost her momentum, Still in a qualifying position, but Radova and Hambridge dominating this. And Radova, well, she's just looking to her inside, but Hambridge coming through. Radova easing up, but I think she's, oh gosh, it was almost a shot there. Radova easing up. There's two women on her outside, including Frank. I think the other one was Natanel, the Israeli. We're just charging off that last hurdle, and Radova thought she was comfortably in a qualifying position and then suddenly had to shift gear again. Bit of a shock for Nina Radova, but in the end came through in second place, and Natanel of Israel nicely through for third. And Frank just edged out. So Frank, after coming off the 8th hurdle in the lead, and stutters, lost all momentum, stride pattern falls apart as Hambridge and Radova move ahead.
It was interesting because Radova was glancing over at Hambridge, but then realised that there was a battle royal going on, and Nathaniel was coming through quite quickly ahead of Frank. So Radova just responded with 25 metres to go. Good run from Hambridge, put under a little bit of pressure, and Frank really did go for that. She's come home in a minute dead, but that will not be enough to take her through, because right from early doors it was obvious you needed a 59.9 for any of the top three non-automatic qualifying positions.
So there we have confirmation. Viola Hambridge, a very confident qualification, winning that heat in 59.38. Nina Radova, despite getting the shock of her life about 40 metres from the line, recovered quickly and going through 59.56.
Right, three cracking semi-finals in the men's 4 hurdles. Now it's the turn of the women. 8 women in this age group in Europe have gone inside 58 seconds. And this first semi-final packed with talent, especially in lanes 4, 6 and 7. Alia Aguiralde set that PB at 59.25 just at the very end of July, and she's going to have to get out hard. Alexandra Uta, the Romanian, third 2 years ago in Jerusalem. She's getting back towards her best. Petra Lalic, second best in Europe in this age group this year, 56.97. Lopez ran 59.16 in qualifying, looks bouncy, poised and ready. Norua in really good form. She's part of Femke Bol's group, 57.18. Gianna Louidou of Greece, only 17 and already a sub-1 minute performer. Vinyls of Andorra will be second from the inside, national champion 60 metres indoors as well as the 4 hurdles. And Julia Worth of Switzerland, 58.87. So Worth on the inside, Vinyls Andorra 2, Gianna Louidou of Greece in 3, Norua of the Netherlands, 18 years of age in 4, Lopez France 5, Lalic Hungary 6, Uta in your picture there in 7. Very experienced and coming back to something like her best form, and Aguiralde on the outside for Spain.
On your mark.
Only 2 guaranteed to come back for the final, plus the 2 non-automatic spots. Uta in 7, coming back towards her best. Norua in 4 is in form, and Lalic, one of Europe's finest. Not all of them can make it automatically. Fascinating race in prospect. First of 3 semis, women's 4 hurdles. Well, Norua has had the opportunity to train with Femke Bol, so she's been working with the very best. It's a conservative start from her. Uta, meanwhile, has already eaten up the stagger on Aguiralde on the left of picture. And Lalic running really well. No move yet from Norua in the centre of your picture, trying to close down on Lopez. Uta and Lalic side by side. And Uta's coming back at Lalic. She's in front at the moment, the Hungarian. But Uta, high stays firmly fixed forwards, but watch for the Dutch woman now coming through in the centre, although she's starting to show some signs of fatigue. Uta, Lalic and Norua trying to battle through. Oh, so close. Uta took it very tight on the line between Norua and Lalic for the second spot, very tight. Uta showed real class there because Lalic closed her down at around about 200 metres, but she didn't panic, and round that second bend she bit back, Uta, and really showed her form and her dominance.
Yeah, we didn't quite see it there, but Uta had a bit of a stumble just before the 8th hurdle, but recovered very quickly. She might have been changing her stride and just slightly misjudged the approach to the hurdle, but nevertheless got over that. Lalic wasn't able to take advantage. She probably didn't realise what was going on, and then Uta very quickly got back into her running and was really very, very quick between the hurdles, between the 8th and 9th and 9th and 10th. There we see it. And Norua, well, she's just grown in stature. She had a great heat run, and I'm pretty sure that's close to her personal best, if not a new one. It's just outside the personal best for Norua. But Uta, just remember, Uta's just 17 years of age.
Uta and Norua making it through. Lalic and Wienals will have to wait. At the very least, Wienals is going home with a new national record for Andorra.
At the moment, our attention switches back to the track and the women's 400 metres hurdles second semi-final. And Meta Tumba, the world under-20 champion and French under-20 record holder. On the outside, Zoe van Gils gets through as the fastest non-automatic qualifier from the heat. Veronika Gadashka, she's quick on her day. 56.87 last year, hasn't been quite such good form. Meta Tumba, French under-20 record holder at 55.59. Arabella Wilson ran really well in her heats. Wilson. Ikonen. That's a huge cheer, as you'd expect, and she could be in contention for a place on the final. I'm sure she'll be urged on by everyone in this crowd. Savenkova, Czech runner. She's been doing really well in the heats, got through, personal best in the heats. Bogdanovic of Serbia in lane 2, and Koneka of Slovakia in the inside lane.
On your mark.
From the inside, Koneka, Bogdanovic, Savenkova, Ikonen, Wilson, Tumba, Gadashka and Van Gils. Tumba very much the favourite to progress.
Set.
And indeed, Tumba is away very quickly. She's already closing down on Gadashka on her outside. Tumba very quick between the hurdles. She's a very good 200 and 400 metre runner as well. Also running well on her inside. Wilson at the moment having a great run. So it's very much France and Britain at the moment leading the way, coming up to the halfway point in this race. Tumba now is passing Van Gils on the outside. But Arabella Wilson isn't giving up any ground whatsoever to Tumba. On her inside though, Ikonen spurred on by the crowd. The crowd are willing Ikonen to get up there with the leading pair. Wilson stutters before that hurdle. That's opened the door for Ikonen as Tumba starts to streak away, using her strength and speed between the hurdles to pull away. Wilson recovers though. It's going to be Tumba followed home by Wilson. Ikonen, I think she's quick enough to take one of the hot seats at the moment. So unofficially 57.47 for Meta Tumba.
Gdanska stopped running down the back straight. She left her run late in the heats, so I thought perhaps she may have a little problem. Wilson ran really well and put Tumba under a little bit of pressure there.
All the way through to the 9th hurdle, Wilson just stuttered there. And I thought Heikkinen was going to come back at Wilson.
But she has gone into one of the non-automatic spots because Vinals had the second of the non-automatic spots with that national record for Andorra of 59.60. So Heikkinen moves just behind Lalic. Lalic the quickest of the non-automatic qualifiers with 57.51 and Heikkinen 57.99. Tumba ran well, but I'm not sure she's on peak form at the moment.
I would agree completely. I think that's a very fair comment. Tumba 57.45. But when you look at the likes of Uta in the first heat, who actually just ran faster anyway, but just looked so much more impressive anyway. But a good run as well for Arabella Wilson to seal her place in the final as well. Credit to the Briton. We turn our attention to the women's 400 metres hurdles and the last of the 3 semi-finals.
Well, what a lineup this is. We've had excellent wins so far from Uta and Tumba. Who's going to take the initiative here? Could be very close between lanes 4, 5, 6 and 7. Not much to separate them in terms of quality. And the non-automatic spots, 57.51 for Lalic and 57.99 for Heikkinen. Martina Zanino on the outside for Spain, just a fraction inside 59 seconds this year. Stephanie Okoro of Great Britain, Commonwealth Youth Gold a couple of years ago, top 10 on the European list. A PB in July, inside 58 seconds. Mashenienkova with exactly the same time this season. Brilliant in qualification. Nina Radova, semi-finalist in the World Juniors last year, European Under-18 champion and brother to Michael Rada, who's already made the men's final. Viola Hambridge, national champion of the 4 and 4 hurdles, the Estonian in 4. Nathaniel, national champion and a bronze medalist in the national championships over the 200 as well. Neves of Portugal, second from the inside with that familiar bright green strip. And running in lane 1, the tall figure of Liv Gret Buchner, national championship bronze for the last 2 years, 59.09. So the non-automatic times again, just inside 58 seconds. Lalic and Heikkinen. This could be so close. Hambridge, the Estonian in 4, is the fastest in the field, but there Okoro, second from the outside. She's had a cracking season. Radova in 5. There she is. A great gold in the European Under-18s last year. Hambridge 4, Radova 5. Mashenienkova in 6, Okoro 7. 4 women separated by tenths of a second this season, and only 2 of them guaranteed a place in the final. This could be close. An atmospheric, balmy Friday evening unfolding in Finland. And a great race now over the 4 hurdles. Okoro, left of picture, has gone out very, very hard. I hope she's got enough to hang on towards the end. Mashenienkova trying to go with her. No move yet from Hambridge in the middle of your picture, or from Radova. Twin to Michael Rada. Now Hambridge tries to close the gap on Radova. Okoro still leading, but inevitably they're beginning to come back to her. Has she gone too hard too early, or has she timed it to perfection? Hambridge coming through on the inside, stutters into that barrier. Now Mashenienkova, the Ukrainian, past Okoro. So it's Estonia from Ukraine. This has been a great run from Hambridge, it really has. Radova's out of it at the moment. And now Hambridge can afford to jog over the line in the early evening sunshine. Hambridge from Mashenienkova. Okoro was bold and brave, but in the end she couldn't hang on. She went too hard too early, understandably so, because she had no idea what was going on on her inside. No place in the final for one of the famous twins from Czechia. Hambridge and Masienkova will be the only ones to make it through, and Hambridge not only into the final, but with a PB as well.
Yes, and it's Hambridge who's the fastest qualifier, the Estonian. I think I mentioned yesterday, hasn't had far to come. Quick trip over the Baltic and then about an hour and a half in by train or car. She's rocketing along here. She's absolutely flying between the hurdles. Really impressive performance. And of course, the fastest of the semi-finals. Behind her, Masienkova, holding her form, starting to tire. Shoulders going from side to side. Okoro was closing on her, but the track just ran out for the Briton. Wondering, that might well be an Estonian under-20 record. We'll bring you up to date on that one.
Disappointment for Okoro. I do think she ran the right race, actually, knowing how tight they all were in terms of PBs and the fact that she was second from the outside. Hambridge, a great win and a massive PB. Masienkova also through to a mouth-watering final.
Well, you're talking about running the right race, and I think you're absolutely right. There will be occasions when athletes in these semi-finals, particularly in semi-finals like this, just look at those qualifying times with Hambridge getting that personal best of 57.16, who are not going to make the semi-finals, but can be very, very proud of their performances. Not just Okoro, but many other runners as well. It's time for the women. Championship record has been on the books since 2005, when it was a dead heat between Kozetskaya and Heshneva in Kaunas. So it's been there 20 years. 55.89. Well, that might be a tall order with these women. Mette Tumba, the existing world under-20 champion, has run close to that. So on the outside, European under-18 silver medalist, Olga Mashanikova. Semi-final winner, European under-18 champion 2 years ago, Alexandra Uta. Rapidly improving Dutchwoman, Abigail Noruga. Ran a personal best in Hengelo. And we saw Mette Tumba, world under-20 champion. And this woman was really impressive, winning her semi-final in a national, not just under-20, but under-23 record of 57.16. Arabella Wilson was just a fraction away from her personal best in her semi-final, close to the best of 57.49. Petra Lajlik, second on the European list this year, behind Tumba. And on the inside, Mila Haikonen, best of 57.10 from last year. Haikonen's had a busy day. She was in the 100 metres hurdles heats this morning, made the semi-finals. So Tumba leads the European lists with 56.76, which she did on home soil in Cargé-Pontoise. However, she hasn't looked great in the heats and semi-finals. Tumba has Hambridge, Uta, who's probably her closest rivals, but this is a very evenly matched race. Cleanly away at the first time of asking. Lane 7, Uta flying over the first bend. It's Uta on the outside who's running really well. Also Tumba looking a lot better than she did in the semi-finals and the heats. She's up on the shoulder of Noruga. And Tumba now starting to close the gap on Uta in lane 7, but Uta still in really good shape. Clearly clearing the hurdles. Running well on the inside handbridge as well at the moment, but it's between Tumba and Uta. It's the women in lanes 5 and 7. And Tumba now, well, she saved her best for last. It's the Frenchwoman with a metre lead coming into the home straight. She's running really well. Uta, those are really fast finishers. She's starting to close. She's really attacking. Uta's attacking Tumba. Tumba's running out of steam. It's going to be the Romanian. Well, let's just wait for confirmation of that time, because it's probably a new championship record. Yes, it is. Uta's confirmed. 55.56. She's smashed a record which has been on the books for 20 years. Tumba runs faster than she's ever done before and improves her own French under-20 record to 55.56. And some way distant, but still running better than any other Estonian's done. Bronze goes to Ambridge, 56.71. What a fantastic performance, and just like the men, personal best for the first 4 women home.
Well, there were 2 brilliant races going on there, Phil. Uta with a massive championship record, just out-dipping Tumba, the world under-20 champion. And Hambridge came back at Heikkinen brilliantly. Heikkinen in lane 1 had the whole crowd on their feet because, yes, whilst Uta was coming back at Tumba, most in the stand were watching Heikkinen, hoping that she could hang on for the bronze, but Hambridge just came through to deny the Finn what would have been a wonderful moment. She could hardly believe it. She's run her heart out. Heikkinen with a PB, Arabella Wilson of Great Britain with a PB, Hambridge with a national under-20 record, Tumba with a national under-20 record, Uta with a championship record. Every bit as good as the men's 400 hurdles. 2 of the races of the event, without question.
Without a doubt. Well, we've known about Uta for several years. She really came to the fore back at the Youth Olympic Festival back in 2023 as a 15-year-old. Meta Tumba has come through really strongly in the last 12 months, winning that World Under-20 title. Just 1/10 of a second, 1/100th of a second separating Uta and Tumba. Hambridge getting in there, congratulating the 2 women that finished in front of her, getting Estonia's first medal of these championships. What a phenomenal performance from Viola Hambridge as well. That'll be a Estonian under-23 record, not just under-20 record. Uta, well, I have to say, I thought that she was going to run extremely well. Wasn't sure she was going to win against Tumba, but far exceeds my expectations.
So Tumba came round here into the lead. Look at Heikkinen on the top right of picture and Hambridge in the middle. They were neck and neck. At this point, it looked as though the Finn was going to take the bronze. Tumba's up at the moment, but Uta's coming, Uta's closing. The tension rises in the shoulders of the Frenchwoman, and a brilliant dip on the line for Uta, and Hambridge doing the same. And I think Hambridge looked across and realised she had just pipped Heikkinen to that bronze medal. There's the dip for first as opposed to second, and there's the dip for third as opposed to fourth.
And 2 great contrasting races between Uta and Tumba, considering that they arrived at the finish line almost together. Uta absolutely flew over the first 100 metres, while Tumba took it fairly steadily, ran well within herself. Then Tumba stepped on the accelerator between 100 and 300 metres. Uta still had plenty in the tank, though, because she coasted around the far bend and then really went through the gears coming down the home straight and just overhauled Tumba on the run-in.
I thought that was a brilliant race because Tumba had looked not quite the athlete she had been last year when she took gold in Lima, but that was much better. And Uta has taken a while to come back to her very best form, and I think she was blown away by the 55.55. She really was.
Tell you what, so was I, because that took a fair old chunk out of a very credible championship record. Alexandra Stefania Uta of Romania, championship record 55.55. Meta Tumba taking silver in a French national under-20 record of 55.56. And Viola Hambridge taking the bronze, going under 57 seconds for the first time in her life.
Hi, I'm Manu Duplantis. Subscribe to the European Athletics YouTube channel down below.